Alright, so now we're on to Cygnus Fortress. You see how kind of it's vaguely similar buildings and all that?
Vaguely.
It's mostly that front one that throws everything off, and like the techie floor and everything. But yeah, so now these two are basically going to siege Cygnus Fortress. Zero is going in first to scout or whatever, or to clear out the main force or whatever the hell's going on, and then X is following him in. The intro to it is like pretty straightforward. It's all enemies that we've seen before. Everything in this fortress stage is going to be, save for bosses and stuff.
Yeah, I don't think there are any more unique regular enemies after this point.
Right. Yeah, no, it's only fortress bosses at this point. So this part is always kind of tricky. You want to, or I encourage you to use the whole rolling shield thing again, as seen here. And also watch your dashes, especially if you're using an older controller. It's really easy for a double tap to not register, and then you just like go sailing off.
Yeah.
And then one thing that I always like to point out here while I'm powering through, again, like nothing super unique, just fire waving it up, is that slanted cliff. Mm-hmm. You'll see it at the end cutscene and everything, but Cygnus Fortress is basically on a floating island, a flying floating island that's going out to sea, basically. So those platforms and that thing are like the edge of the island, so like you're actually infiltrating the fortress, which is something that you wouldn't really notice until you look at the map way zoomed out and then compare it to that ending. So I honestly think that's really, really cool that they actually put that level of thought into it. But yeah, so now there's a fateful encounter.
My God.
I know, it's so intense.
So what's Vava's deal?
Vile.
Yes.
Vile's deal. In this, I don't think there was a whole bunch of plot to it. He's basically just an ex-Maverick Hunter who is aggressive. The Vile has become aggressive. Mm. It's expounded a little bit more in Maverick Hunter X because everything is, and then, other games and stuff like that.
I don't think he's like ex-Maverick Hunter in Maverick Hunter.
No, he is.
I thought he was just a criminal.
No, he's an ex-Maverick Hunter. And his whole gimmick is basically like, why the hell is X so important? I'm gonna be the one that's, gonna... Like, he's got one line that I really, really like, even if it's a little bit anime cheesy, from Maverick Hunter X. It's like, sorry, but I'm gonna be the one to change the world. Because he thinks that the fact that X's main feature is, I worry and care about everything, is like, well, what the fuck is that? Look at, like, all my cool guns and, like, kneecap guns and shit like that. So he basically just aggressively goes after X and Zero because he doesn't think they're that special, and he's like, I'm gonna fucking prove myself. So he's kind of like based that way. He's like, I'm the strongest. Fuck you guys.
It is neat that you get to play as him in Maverick Hunter X.
I honestly think that's the only worthwhile part about it outside of the OVA. And even then, the OVA is kind of rocky because it retcons a whole bunch of stuff that didn't need it.
By Zero.
Yeah. So Zero self-destructs, which, God, like, I'll go into an analysis about this stuff in depth, but if we've already seen that Zero is strong enough to blow off one of the right armor's arms, and if he's capable of breaking out, then why just double team fight him together? There's literally no reason for that to happen when
Zero,
you stop and think about it.
He's punching me with a giant robot. Break out at any time now, buddy.
You're free to step in, and I guess you could kind of argue that it's the same as what just happened here. Is like he only has the strength to break out because he sees like, oh shit, X is losing or lost. But whatever. So I keep hearing that he has a different weakness weapon other than homing torpedo.
Homing torpedo seems pretty fucking good.
Yeah, just like look at how good homing torpedo is and tell me that it's worth it trying any other weapon. Like it's really not.
It's neat that he still has the stun attack.
Yep. So that's his normal thing, and he's got a unique death animation, which is really rad. And you can kind of see it. It's obviously long past now, but the shots that he has traveled along the ground, those are coming from the kneecap gun. So that's not just like weird, obscure concept art. That's actually a thing, which I think is pretty cool. Also, my fish disappeared. Also, Zero, you're bleeding.
Well, this is pretty hardcore for a kid's SNES game.
Yeah. So the whole story arc in this that everybody is already aware of is just you start out in the intro stage, you're strong enough to go through the grunts, but then Vile overpowers you, and you're like, God damn it, this feels really bad. And then Zero comes in and it's like, I want to be as strong as that guy. And then over the course of the game, you become as strong as that guy. And that's where you get the other Buster, the thing that you were talking about, is if you don't have the Buster at that point, Zero basically says, look, things are only going to get harder from here on out, take my Buster, like as a dying wish thing, which is honestly pretty cool. So that's what goes on there. But, we already got the Buster, which is great.
Oh, you're including me in this? Excellent. I feel great.
You were present.
I like that the special weapons feel a lot more generally useful in this game.
Yeah, X1 and X2 do a really good job of having the special weapons have utilities outside of, I can shoot at this angle now. And it really shines through the charge shots. Also, this is a thing that X1 does that I wish the other ones did, that's taken out of Mega Man 1 and not, 2 through 8 or whatever, is the boss refights in these fortresses are sequential. Like, you go through these rooms and, this one is always Boomer Clanger, the next one's always such and such, and so on. So instead of having to slog through, it's all 8 of them all at once, which I know a lot of people don't like. I don't mind them, but I understand not liking them. It's this, and it makes it feel more like, okay, this is a hardcore level now where it's this isn't just I'm jumping over a hole and shooting at a whole bunch of mechs. This is everything is coming at me.
Yeah, it makes the pacing of the fortress stages a lot better.
It really does.
And it makes it not just, okay, here's a long-ass platforming segment and a fortress boss. It's shorter, more compact challenges interspaced with tough enemies.
Yeah, it's exactly that. And it also kind of lends cool story, when you think about it, is X just watches his best friend die, avenges him, is okay, I'm done. Fuck all of you guys. And rather than okay, well, you fought Vile, here's a bunch of little guys, it's just I am going to just end all of you. Which is then further made stranger by the fact that there's only one Maverick immediately after that, but, it's whatever.
And then there's this turgid fucker.
I am the worst at reading his pattern, even though it's super basic. I don't think I do a bad job here, ignoring that one. His official name is Bow Spider, which is dumb. Me and my friend always called him Track Spider, which just sounds a little better.
Still dumb, but
it's
better.
Dumb, but yeah, it works a little better when you're saying it. What I like to do, I don't know if this is a main strategy or what, but I really like to use the Storm Tornado there to clear out the little ones because it's large enough to hit along the ground without having to dash or anything.
And it also seems to hit behind you.
It doesn't hit behind you. What it does is, when it comes out, it delays. It's almost like you're throwing the front end of a slinky, and then the back is catching up to it. So, because there's that delay, the ones that are behind you run into it, and then the front end hits the ones in front of you. So if you time it right, it's not a guaranteed thing to work, but it's just as long as you don't mind switching between the two weapons, which you really shouldn't, it's not that bad, it's super easy to just, not even worry about them. Although, that said, it's really cool that when you're dashing, your shots are actually lower because he's down closer to the ground, so you can quote-unquote aim using that kind of method, which
is really neat.
Yeah, and then the fully charged shots also do it, but you kind of need to know they're coming ahead of time, and in my opinion, it's just easier to use the Storm Tornado for it. But yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the better ones that I do, which I don't really know how I feel about that. I'm really good at this series, and then it's here's this easy visual pattern recognition thing, and I'm just I don't understand! I rubbed my face on the spider, right?
You just gotta study every permutation of the track.
You're right.